Hey, everybody.
What is going on, guys? We are back for Real Life Bowling Podcast number 10. We've done 10 of these. Doesn't feel like we've done that many, but it's been
All of
pretty awesome.
quarantine, the quarantine
Yeah.
series.
The weeks are just kind of blending together. I forget what month I'm in half the time.
Right.
But today it's just me and Chris. We wanted to do kind of a quick little video for you guys, kind of go over a few things. I know Chris is going to be going back to work in the shop soon, right?
Going back on Wednesday, be the first day. Going on Monday, Memorial Day, just to clean it up, do all that kind of stuff, set up, all that kind of stuff. And then Wednesday will be open for business.
Sweet. And I hopefully should be hearing something about my center in the next week or two, which means when we both get back in the shop after we kind of get everything settled up, disinfected, sanitized, deal with all the rush of the customers, we're going to be able to record a lot more content for you guys outside of just the podcast. We're probably going to go to maybe a one podcast a month type thing. And we're going to try to pump out a lot of ball reviews, a lot of coaching videos, tips, little things. You might see a bunch of 2-3 minute long videos from us, but we want to give you as much information as we can outside of what we've been doing in the traditional podcast format. So
Exactly. So it should be a good time. We're just going to be testing stuff out and just doing what we normally do, just
yeah,
recording it more.
pretty much. We're going to kind of try to show you guys our plan for the future is to go over some pro shop stuff. Not so much like how to run a pro shop, but, maybe like how important fit is, finding your PAP, laying out bowling balls, maybe going through the motions of drilling one. And then we have a bunch of ideas for coaching videos. Everyone's got a how to hook a bowling ball video. We're going to make one of those, but we're going to try to make it as unique to real life bowling as we can, along with a bunch of other stuff and some things people haven't covered that we think is very important for people. So I don't know about you, man. I'm excited to get back in the shop. I've enjoyed not doing anything, but I'm going stir crazy. I know you're kind of
I'm a little more
chill,
comfortable inside
but
the house, yeah.
yeah, I'm just going absolutely insane. But I cannot wait to drill the new desert tank that Motive has coming out, which we were supposed to have gotten already, but because Michigan
All
got
messed
shut
up.
down.
All messed up. Yeah, I am. I'm probably most excited for this one than I was for throwing any of the blitzes, just because this one's really trying to be urethane-y, and I like
Yes,
urethane a lot. I enjoy throwing it in the South region. We throw it often, quite
quite
often.
often.
So I found
Yeah,
an original tank, and then I have
gems.
the Rampage tank. I got them all. I love them, and this one I think is going to fit really nicely in there.
Yeah, I think the microcell polymer balls for the newer ones are really, really good, but they're not, for me, and I know for you especially, they hook too much to throw on short patterns. On tour, you can get away with them, and they have thrown tank blitzes on short and stuff like that because of how much
Yeah, you
foil
see.
and volume.
Yeah, absolutely. You see it all the time on tour and short, and I mean down here they do hook a lot up front. I just can't use them on short patterns. They hook the moment they touch the lane for me, and then they just keep going. So I really lean towards urethane. I throw plastic sometimes, so I'm a bad example with this. But yeah,
Right. But what they did with this one is they toned down the core quite a bit. The core is what's in the thrills, I believe. You want to pull up the specs real quick? I believe it's the
absolutely.
thrill core, super high RG, very low differential. I believe it's like
You are
26
correct.
or
257
257
015.
Yeah, which is very similar to a lot of the urethane balls you see pumping out. Black and purple hammers, the U motion, the pitch blacks. Those are really high RG, low differential. So this is going to be really geared towards straighter angles, more through the front than the tank blitz and the covert tank. So what this is going to allow you to do is it's still going to hook a decent amount because it's not true urethane, it's microcell polymer. So these covers are a pinch quicker than urethane, but because of that core being a lot weaker, it can't create a lot of friction in the first 20, 30 feet. So you're going to see a lot straighter angle through the front part of the lane before this bowling ball wants to do anything. And then to further smooth it up, you can mess with layouts and make it go really straight if you needed to. So I'm really looking forward to drilling this one to be that way step down from the
Exactly.
other.
I mean, we haven't seen a lot of ball videos for it for obvious reasons so far, but Wesley
Yeah,
Joe just did one that was very, very good. He really covers everything. I mean, he does 3 different patterns, stuff like that. So that's a good one to check out
that's
until
awesome.
other people get their hands on it, and you can actually see a bunch of different people throwing it.
Yeah, and Wesley, I mean, his rev rate's upper 500, so he likes to throw plastic on short. So if he had a really good run. What was that event? Where was that at?
Players Championship, the PTQ, the Players Championship.
Yeah, he bowled 2 300s in qualifying with a plastic ball. So for him, he's going to have a different option when he probably needs to move in away from that, or he's just can't get the 7-7 out with this ball or with the plastic ball. He could probably parallel his feet a couple and see, I don't want to say similar, but a straighter motion through the front rather than going from a plastic ball to a covert tank or a tank blitz or some other ball that's way different.
Exactly. Really be able to control the front to back motion with this one. You're probably going to want to put some surface on it, stuff like that. Really treat it like a urethane ball and just control the front to back. I just think it's just going to overall hook more than a urethane ball. Probably more than I mean, from my perspective, all the blitzes, all the tanks rather, have been trying to fit that urethane motion, and I think this one's going to be the closest microcell polymer to urethane for sure.
Yeah, so for those guys out there that may not be fans of traditional urethane, this one might be one you want to get your hands on because it is a little bit different. I mean, it's urethane-ish, but it scratches that itch where it's a little different, where people that don't like traditional urethane can get away with it. Exactly. And it's gold, and there hasn't been a lot of bad gold bowling balls in the last couple of years. So
people like gold.
Yeah,
people like gold balls for sure.
Color plays a big part of ball reaction. People don't really tend to look at, but you can make a bowling ball use the exact same cover, stock, and core, but if you change the color of it, it's going to roll.
Like completely different bowling ball. Completely different bowling ball. Because you have to remember, at that level, colors are chemicals. And it takes different stuff, different chemicals to get everything going. I mean,
different additives.
Yep. So that's why you see, the same cover on a lot of different balls, but they're different colors, and they're like, well, that doesn't roll anything like the last one I had, and that's why colors matter so much.
I've had that happen. I drilled a bowling ball, loved it, threw it for a while, it cracked. I drilled another one the exact same way. It was a multicolored bowling ball. It had more of one color in my track, and it rolled not even close to the same bowling ball. And I laid them out the exact same way, same cover, same surface, everything, and rolled totally different. So that's why sometimes you might drill a bowling ball if it's multicolored, especially, and you drill a few of them, you're going to see a pretty big difference in how they roll depending on where it is. It's just
exactly. And that's why the old black bowling balls never roll bad. There's a reason for that, because they're all the same color.
They're actually way more consistent.
Way more consistent being black. So
yeah, if I remember correctly, when the Mission came out, which was one of the best bowling balls like a decade ago, they tested a bunch of different colors, and they came up with a red. And I might be wrong about this, I'm not sure, but I believe red is the quote unquote strongest color that bowling balls can be made out of, or something.
I think red in general hooks a lot more down lane. I think it's like the most aggressive color. But your blacks, your blues, your purples, they tend to be smoother, where your brighter, your yellows. Yellow's a weird color actually, but your orange, your red, your bright orange, your fluorescent colors, your flesh and green, orange, those colors, they tend to just be more aggressive off the spot. Just what I've noticed. A lot of people notice the same things, but where black, blue, that color palette is always a little bit smoother, a little bit rounder.
And they're easier to track too. Solid colored bowling balls, even darker colored bowling balls, are easier to track and see the lane. So that's why for me, I put black grips in all of my stuff, so I can't see it. Some people, are stuck on wanting to see the grips go around the bowling ball, and I can't stand that. For me, it's just
because it's rotate too slow around the ball, so he doesn't like it as much.
Yeah, exactly. Me and my 12 rev rate over here.
But yeah, no, it's such a good point. Some people they want to see the way their fingers are coming out of it. That's really good early on in your development in your game, 100%. Though. You really want to see how you're rolling the ball, because you're just not going to be rolling it the same way 2 days in a row. So you need to see that when you're starting out. Really probably the first 5 or 6 years of my bowl. I was throwing it differently every time. It just takes a lot longer than we really realize.
It's going to take a while after you get back on the lanes after this break too.
I'm very, very excited to see how I throw the ball. First off, I can't
wait for that first video.
You've bowled a couple times though.
Yeah, well, I'm saying like for you, because like I said, you've taken a week or 2 or 3 off and come back and thrown it fine. But this is the longest break you've had in how long?
10 weeks. 10 weeks. This is the longest break I've ever had in my entire bowling career since I was 12 years old. So that's
huge.
That's different data right there. They've never seen this before. I've been about a month I've taken off and had absolutely really no issues coming back, besides like dealing with the hand pain stuff. That's a little bit different. But like just in general, taking a break. I've taken 2 weeks off here, 2 weeks off there. And I generally don't have, I think breaks help. This is one of those other things that we kind of differ on. I think breaks help. Like if you've been practicing, you're not going to forget the good habits that you've created. You're not going to forget those. But that one bad habit that you've done only a few times that shouldn't be there, that you don't even think about being there, when you take that break, that bad habit tends to leave more often than not. And I've noticed that. So
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys on tour that are like that. They'll take, big chunks of time off because they've kind of grooved out what they like to do. And if they're not throwing it great, it takes them 30 minutes. They kind of just, oh, okay, I do this, and oh, there it is, and they see what they want to see. They're more visually oriented. Like if EJ can get his ball to do what he wants it to do, he probably doesn't care too much how it gets there most of the time if he can do it over and over again. If there's a drastic problem, obviously it's different. But a lot of those guys are just like, I can change my hand, I can get my ball to do what I want to do. Perfect. That's all I need. I can repeat that 10 times in a row. I'm good. I'm done. Then if you want to get really sharp,
yep.
you want to practice a little bit, but for the most part, those guys are already as sharp as they need to be.
Yeah, I mean, that just goes back to my normal practice regimen. Like if I know, oh man, I'm bowling tournaments for the next 2 months straight, I'm probably not going to practice a whole lot. Maybe once a week, maybe like that's kind of what I like to do. So it just all depends. If something's broken, but I always go back to that. If something's broken, that's when you really want to get at it. You don't want to over practice. I think someone learned that lesson over this quarantine, didn't he?
Like I've been talking to Chris about it. Like I've been able to keep the mental picture a little clearer, for me, more so than I have been before, because I've been able to kind of go over it in my mind a little more, to have more time to kind of digest what I've been doing and think about it a little bit more. And it's just mental practice, really. I mean, if I've been thinking about bowling a ton, so I've been thinking about it in my mind and kind of going through it. I've watched some videos from like a month ago or 2 months ago, whatever it's been, and I'm kind of like, okay, I see that. All right, so how do I make that better? And I've kind of just been practicing it over and over in my head. So when I get back to full-time practice, I'll probably hit it hard for the first 2 or 3 weeks just to get my body feeling right again, and then I'll probably just slow it down to maybe 2 or 3 times a week, which for me is not a lot.
Yeah, not a lot at all. Yeah, dude, not a lot at all for him. I mean, I think that's a really good point. It's gonna be warming up. I mean, I'm kind of bad at warming up. I'll stretch my wrists and stuff like that. I'm really good with my wrist, but the rest of my body, I really don't warm up anymore. But I've been trying to integrate that in my routine, and I think this is going to be really important. Is stretching and
Extremely.
exactly. I've been really trying to work on my flexibility throughout this little break the last few weeks. So I'm really, because I think that's going to be a really big thing. I think it's so easy to hurt yourself when you're not
Mm-hmm.
warmed up. And like I said, I haven't stopped bowling for so long that my body's never gone back to being normal. And I can feel that I'm back to being normal because I don't hurt.
Yeah, you're
My
not.
hips don't feel bad. My lower back doesn't feel bad. My shoulder doesn't feel bad. My arm doesn't feel bad. My neck doesn't feel. I mean, it's crazy how many pieces come together with bowling to make it all
Mhm.
work. Because my hips get really bad. That's the main thing I notice. Nothing else gets too bad. I get a little. The way I set up hurts this part of my shoulder right here. I can pull this muscle, so that feels a lot better. But my hips, man, my hips are so bad, and they've been bad since I was like 16. I've been going to chiropractors pretty much on and off since I was 16 because of them.
Eh.
So it's nice feeling like a person that doesn't hurt all the time.
And that's a good lesson for everyone out there. Like Chris is not that old. He's 30. I'm 25. Even being 25, like I'm 5 years younger than him. My body's still. I need to stretch. I coach high school kids, and they kind of don't even. We stretch before they bowl, but they don't even want to do that. And they're like, "I'm fine." And I'm like, "Yeah, you are fine at 16. You don't need to stretch. But if you get into that regimen now and you keep yourself healthy, you won't feel awful if you don't stretch when you're 25 and when you're 30. But if you don't start doing it, like I didn't start really stretching until about 2 years ago. If I'd been doing that my whole life, I probably would be a little better off now. And then if you'd been doing it, hardcore since you were younger, you might be in a little bit better shape now. So
Absolutely.
for
Well, no, I
everyone
mean
who's
it's
coming
100%.
back, yeah, for everyone who's coming back, you guys, if you never stretched before bowling, just there's a couple things online. I'm sure there's a couple videos on YouTube of like stretches for bowling and stuff like that. Even if not, just do something. Anything is better than nothing when you've first gotten back, because you take it for granted. Oh, it's just bowling, whatever. But like I
So
personally,
much, yeah, so much damage to your body can happen because of bowling. So much, it's the strain over and over again. Like I said, if you're bowling 3 games a week, you're probably not going to notice any problems because 3 games a week. It's more towards the competitive bowler, and or guys bowling, people that are bowling
34 leagues.
three, 4 leagues a week. I mean, they're definitely going to have it, and that goes to the same thing with hand pain. whenever I'm working with, someone younger than 23-ish, 23 and younger, because I didn't start having and I was in a terrible fit my entire childhood. Too short, too long. It was never good. It was never good. And I had no problems until I was 25. But at 25, that tendon just was like, nope. And I've had problems ever since. I've had on and off problems for 5 years now. It's just there. I'm on 10 weeks off, and it's not 100%. It's the best it's been in 5 years, but it's not 100%, which is, terrible. And I'm not very excited about that, but at least it's better. So no one wants that. Like, you don't want that. No one wants that. Like,
Yeah.
So try to be in a good fit earlier. I will
Go see a
preach
good pro
fit
shop operator
forever. I will preach fit forever just because of how much damage it did to me. And it's so big. It's so big.
Yeah, you got to find a pro shop operator that cares, and I mean that's the biggest thing. And you got to you have to really explain yourself well. Like, you got to go in there being like, all right, I have a problem. It's here. I need that gone. You can't just go in there and be vague, like, oh, my hand hurts. Where? I really don't know. Like, think about it, take a look at it, maybe go on the lanes, throw a couple shots, have your pro shop operator come with you, be like, all right, it's here, something like that. A lot of times you can identify a bad fit just from watching someone bowl, because it's not going to come off their hand naturally. There's going to be some kind of hang up, drag, grab, squeeze, something, and that is going to cause pain later down the road too.
And it's a process. I don't think a lot of people understand that. They're like, oh, well, you should just get my pan right the first time. And like, it does, even if you've been doing this for long, the reason why we can get our fits right is because we change them all the time. Constant data and intake of different stuff. And it might take one or two times. I've had a couple customers, that I've plugged their ball. I plugged their ball for free just so I could be like, that wasn't right, and I'm not okay with that being right. Just be like, no, let's do it one more time. Let's do it one more time. It's just, let's do it one more time. And the price of it being right it's worth it every time.
Yeah. And I mean, if it's right now, in a year, it may not be. That's the big thing too. Your hand's going to change. And, sometimes we'll fit someone and we'll go towards a direction, and we should have went further that direction, or we went that way and we should have backed it off a little bit, because, we don't want to plug and redo your bowling ball if we don't have to, but we're going to if it's not correct. So we try to nail it on the first time, and sometimes you get it right, and sometimes it's, it needed another small little tweak. We don't know how your hand's going to react until it goes down the lane.
I had pain in this finger for a really long time, separate from the wrist pain. And I kept going further away, further away, further away, further away, further away. Finally, I was at an inch away, and I was just like, you know what? It still hurts. Let's just do something crazy. And I went all the way to an eighth away from an inch away in one fit. I was like, nope, don't care. I'm doing this. Pain went away. Doesn't apply logic, but pain went away. And that's just because of how far I dig in the ball. If I didn't dig as much as I do, probably wouldn't have to do that, but that's the way it is for me.
We've been talking about this back and forth. The biggest thing for you is going to be when you get back, because 2 months off, your hands shrunk, your flexibility's changed. You're probably going to need a fit change, even though it's only been 2 months, but it went from bowling all the time, a lot, to not bowling at all. So your hand's going to change. Sizes are going to change for a little bit. It's going to take a while to get your hand back.
I've lost 2 calluses that I've had for 10 years.
Yeah.
And so right off the bat, I've already retaped my ball 3 times just to try to get it to fit good. It feels terrible in my hand. So we're going to have to see. That's why I'm not really rushing to be back to tournaments. I know a lot of people are excited to it. I'm really not that excited for it. I just want to get back to practicing and getting back up to where I feel comfortable. I'm not rushing back to a tournament for a hot minute.
I want to get back to work. I want to get financially stable, get sharp, and then I'll bowl. Bowling, this whole break showed me, like, yes, I'm very grateful to be able to go back to bowling, but it showed me that there's other things in life that I've enjoyed that I've kind of maybe neglected because I've been so focused on bowling. And now that I haven't really had it, I've been able to enjoy other things. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, bowling is amazing, but I do have other things that I can do that I really, truly love to do that take my mind away from bowling. So I'm very grateful that we can go back to it, but it's maybe not the number one thing in my life like it was. for a good reason. I was so obsessed, maybe overly obsessed with bowling, that it took away from other parts of my life, my relationship, and things like that. So for me, I think it's been a really good break personally.
I'm definitely one of the lucky ones. This was very good for me. I needed a
Saved
break.
your career.
Yep, I need a break.
Possibly.
I needed the break. I needed the break. So I'm super grateful. I'm super grateful.
Yeah, man. I can't wait. It's like I said, we're going to drill these balls. We're going to get some content for you guys. Probably, I mean, I know the PBA, they're going to do the no crowds, but record shows thing, but we're probably not going to bowl any PBA stuff at maximum until the end of the year if they reschedule anything, which I don't think anyone's going to reschedule.
I
I don't
can't
think.
imagine regionals coming back.
Yeah, centers can't. I mean,
Most centers are not going to be able to afford it. That's going to be a big thing, and I'm sure they're going to focus more on the national tour, which would make total sense. So
yeah, go for it.
I'm definitely using this as a rebuild year for sure.
Yep.
Just chalking up to a rebuild year and just enjoy it for what it is. Try not
Yep.
to
Probably
focus
like
on the bad.
100%. Like I said, it's so refreshing mentally. You know, it's not as bad as everyone's making it out to be. If you focus on the negative, it's the worst thing that's ever happened to us. But if you try to, like I said, focus on other things that you can do and outside things and things you can control in your life, it's not great, but
Yeah,
it's
that of
definitely not the
course
worst.
if you have the privilege to be able to sit at home and you're financially stable and you have a place. I mean, so many people that's not the case. So it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely they can't not focus on the negative parts of it. But if you have the ability to, it was good to take a break mentally from things that maybe you were stressing over. So that was really good.
Exactly. But I never thought I'd miss work as much as I do. I never thought I'd be that guy that just can't wait to get back to work. But I can't wait to get in there, drill some stuff, refit some people probably.
Definitely have to refit. Definitely have to refit some people. People that bowl, they're gonna realize this feels really bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna sell a lot of packs of tape. I know that.
A lot of packs
Yeah.
tape. That's a true
And
story.
for anyone wondering, Bowler's Mart is we're gonna be sanitizing everything. We're gonna have a minimum, depending on the size of shop, minimum amount of people that are allowed in there. We're probably going cashless for a little while, so for everyone's safety, you'll get the card machine, you type in your stuff, we sanitize it, be good to go. We're going to try to keep it from everyone touching everything as much as we possibly can. And even when we're fitting you, we're going to sanitize our hands, your hand, the ball, whatever we use to fit you as much as possible. Because for Bowler's Mart, this is an incredibly serious thing. So we want to make sure we keep everyone safe, especially when you're entering our pro shop. So for everyone out there that's a Bowler's Mart customer, don't worry. We are going to do the absolute best we can to keep everyone safe and healthy and get
100%.
back on the lanes.
100%. Definitely.
I don't have anything else to add, man. I think that's
no, quick. I just
pretty much
wanted
a
to
touch
talk
on it.
about a couple things, and and just excited to get back to work.
For sure. So you want me to finish
Go
it
for
up?
it. Go for it.
All right. So thank you guys for being here for our 10th podcast. For everyone that's been subscribed since day one, we really appreciate it. We reached 10. Like I said, it's been crazy, but make sure you like the video, comment anything below. If you have anything to say, add to it. We appreciate it. Any suggestions for future videos, definitely give us a shout there. Make sure you subscribe to the video and hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever we upload something new. The quicker we get to more subscribers, we're going to be giving away some awesome jerseys, some other stuff we've been thinking about, stuff like that. So definitely, guys, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And we will see you next week in the next podcast.
Thank you, everybody.
See ya.